In today's video, I want to talk about the successor to this guy, the Air 2S, possibly going to be called the Air 3 or the Air 3S. I'm going to discuss the things that I really wish and hope that this successor comes with, and some of the things that I really don't want. Are you ready? Let's do this. One of the things that makes this drone fall into the Air category is because it's so small and so light. This thing comes in at about 595 all the way to about 630 grams, depending on how you weigh it. And yes, this thing is small and it is light and it is feature packed. It's very strong. It can handle the wind. If you can make the new Air 3 or the Air 3S lighter than this or more compact than this, then that's absolutely a bonus. But if you can't because you want to pack more technology into it, I get it. Just don't make this drone any heavier and any bigger. This is the sweet spot, not only for travelers, for guys like me who fly in primarily congested areas. So please, don't change that. You can make it better, but not worse. That brings us into our second point. Because of this 1-inch sensor makes this drone really good for flying in the day and the night, why not just give us the FAA strobe lights that allow us to fly at night that we can toggle on and off from the DJI Fly app? It just makes sense. Why not just integrate it into the drone? It's not something we're going to use all the time because we can toggle it on and off if we're flying in the day or the night. It's just one of those things that's a real necessity, especially here in the United States of America, or at least the US models, because we're allowed to fly at night. While you're at it, give us the ability to toggle these lights on and off in the app as well. Let's talk camera. This has a 5.4K sensor, so please, let's not bring it down to 5.1K or 5K or anything like that. Give us the minimum at 5.4K or higher if you want to raise the resolution. But let's not take things down or take things backwards. We want to keep going forward all the time. Imagine 5.4K at 60 FPS. That would be fantastic. And while you're at it, drop in 4K at 120 frames per second, even if you have to crop so that you can save processing power. We don't mind. 4K 120 is always a nice feature to have, even though it's something we don't use that often. Yes, it's time for a sensor upgrade. Two options I'm going to ask for because I know processing takes heat, it takes up space, and we want to keep this drone as light and compact as possible. So YYRB seems to be the future because these sensors can just give you amazing low light capability. So if you're going to go back with a 1-inch sensor, give us the adjustable aperture. That would be great. Give us a YYRB sensor so we can get more light going into this camera. And while you're at it, DJI, give us backside illumination on this sensor as well, so that with the YYRB will allow even more light to get into this camera, giving us a absolutely stunning image at night. Please give us some real high quality German glass or German lens inside of this camera, because yes, software is a thing, but we really want good quality hardware so we can focus less on having to do software tricks inside of these cameras, please. Now, the 1-inch sensor with the backside illumination and the YYRB is just if you cannot give us a bigger camera. If you can't afford to pack more technology in here, hint, hint, bigger camera, yes, drop a 4/3 sensor in there. And when I say a 4/3 sensor, I mean 17.3 millimeters by 13 millimeters. I just don't mean a sensor that has a 1.33 times ratio height to length. I mean the typical 4/3 sensor that we would find in the Panasonic cameras, for example, like what I'm filming on now, the Lumix, that you would find on your Inspire 1 and Inspire 2 cameras. Those sensor sizes is what we're looking for. And if you can make that YYRB and backside illumination, oh my gosh, there will be nothing on the planet, basically, that can stop that, especially in a lightweight drone like this. Of course, before I move on from the camera, because we do buy drones for the cameras, some of us primarily, and then some of us just buy it because it's new, it's the latest and greatest, and it's the coolest. But the camera is the most important part for me, and that's why if you can go and take one step further and give us a f1.9 to f10 or f11 aperture, that would be insane. Literally, that would be insane, because that would allow even more light to flood into this camera at an f1.9. Last but not least, for the lens, please keep it wide at 88 degrees. We want a nice broad field of view so we can capture everything or as much as possible, because that's what flying these drones is primarily about. Give us that wide real estate, and with 5.4K, we can always crop if we want to narrow things in a little bit. Of course, please give us longer battery life, maybe make the battery longer, do something, please, whatever you can. More battery life is always appreciated. Of course, we need obstacle avoidance. There's great front obstacle avoidance, rear here, and partial front. I'm not sure if this part is exposed or maybe can hit something. I'm not sure, but either which way, this is great. We love this Porsche look. If you want to bring it back, if it's necessary. If not, maybe some fisheye is good in front here. This is good. Maybe one piece at the side. And I don't mean sensors that just work in active track and beginner mode or cinematic mode. I mean sensors that work all the time in the standard mode. We know it's hard to get sensors to work in sports modes because those processors have to be insane, but normal mode is good enough. And it doesn't have to be special sensors for the side that will avoid and go around things. Even if it just sees something and it stops, that's good enough. Just an extra line of protection for when we're filming sideways, that's good enough. If you can fit a processor on here that can do the active track stuff better with the side sensors and all, that's great. But I think the active track is very good on these drones, and most people don't come to active track on these type of drones anyway. So don't compromise the size of the drone to give it better active track. It's just not worth it. We just need to stop so we don't hit anything. That's the most important thing. Of course, we need O3 transmission, right? The Mavic 3 has the O3 Plus transmission. This has O3. Give us the Plus transmission so at least we have the best transmission out there. One of the big things about DJI drones is the transmission is beautiful, especially when paired with this. Your latency becomes less and your range becomes even more. So pairing these two together is insane. Thank you for bringing these compatibility together. This was a huge plus for me, DJI, making these two compatible, and just throwing the OcuSync 3 Plus transmission as you're there, right? Do not take any flight modes away. Please give us basically the same flight modes that we have right here. And if you can, include waypoint video. Waypoint video is huge. It doesn't have to be just general waypoints. That will give this drones an absolute smooth, predictable path while recording at the same time. That would be an absolute awesome feature. Allow us to have all the shooting modes in H.264. We know there's a big push to H.265 codec, but please, if you can allow us to shoot everything in H.264, that would be great as well, because H.265 codec from the DJI drones sometimes just does not blend well with other footage in the timeline. H.264 is tried, it's tested, it's proven. And yes, H.264 does take up more space, but a lot of us shoot clips at 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 3-second clips, very short clips. So the ability to have H.264 and shoot these short clips really can help to make our workflow just faster and smoother and blend with the other cameras that we use. And lastly, this Air series needs to be priced right. So far, the things that I'm asking for, I know it's a lot, but at the same time, part of selling drones is keeping it priced right. And the right price for this, I think, is $21.99 or $2,200 for the standard Fly More combo. And of course, you can increase the price if you want to include this, but I think that is definitely the sweet spot. Paying $2,200 and getting a full, complete package with the ND filters and everything is just the way to go. You get a flying platform, you get a really good camera, and you get really good battery life. The rest is basically up to the pilot. And of course, you get some cool flight modes to give you some good shots if you're now learning. So that's it. That's basically what a consumer drone is, right? With some obstacle avoidance and stuff. There's nothing next level about it. It's like a car, right? You go buy a brand new car, you get some cool features, but you're still four wheels on the ground, right? Same concept, same steering wheel, right? The steering wheel might be cooler, might have more buttons, more features, but the same basic concept. We know what this is about. We don't want to reinvent things. We don't want to change the shape of things. And that brings me into the next topic, which is things that I absolutely do not want. These things can be potential deal breakers, and please stay away from these things, DJI. Number one, no second camera. Please save some money, keep the price down, and keep the second camera out of the Air series. We don't need to explore, and even if we do, we can use the digital zoom, add more digital zoom, even if it starts to get a little pixelated. We can explore with that. There's no need to add the cost of an extra lens, an extra sensor, more weight to this drone, bigger camera, and all of that just to explore. It's really not necessary. If people really want that, they can go and buy the Mavic 3. But please leave it out of the Air series. Thank you. Number two, the Mavic 3 has its own look and its own design aesthetic. Please leave that for the Mavic 3 series, not for the Air series. I really like this look, this Porsche kind of effect, this classic look. Love it. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Maybe sleek things up or make a few more cuts, but this type of design is perfect overall. If you want, maybe just add a few more color options, but that's about it. Please don't revolutionize it and make it look like a Mavic 3. If people like that look, they can go buy the Mavic 3. Thirdly, no gimmicky add-on lens to make things wider. Just give us the 88 field of view out of this new camera that you'll put on the Air 3. Don't make it narrow so people have to go and spend $175 to get a wider view that's distorted and loses image quality. We don't need that, please. Just give us the 88-degree field of view. Give us the good image quality straight out of the camera. Then I guess if you want to add an extra lens to take it to 100 degrees or something that's kind of cool and gimmicky, then, but don't sacrifice the quality and the wide field of view that you can get straight out of camera with the quality glass just to sell people accessories, please. Another huge potential deal breaker is no Baidu GPS. Please do not put the Baidu GPS in the Air 3 because that will be a complete deal breaker. Here in New York City, everything is run and gun. Jet skis are passing, boats are passing, and we will miss those shots sitting here waiting on GPS. So if the Baidu system is not ready, just put us on the regular system and you can always add the Baidu later when it's up to par. But please do not ruin the Air experience because it's so beautiful as it is already. No Baidu GPS, DJI. Got it? Now, we all know that H that goes on that camera, that Hasselblad name or that the Hasselblad brand will cost more money. So please, we can do without the Hasselblad brand. This has no Hasselblad on it, no Hasselblad color science or anything, and I think it's absolutely phenomenal. So save us the money, keep the cost down, keep the Hasselblad off this camera. Just give us some nice quality German well-made glass. That's all we ask for. And of course, there's no need for ProRes on a drone like this. That's probably going to require a bigger processor, more space, and then we're going to lose our compact size and weight. So if people really want to shoot ProRes, they already have an option in the Mavic 3. They can go buy that and shoot ProRes. And finally, the last please don't DJI is don't give us the morphing backpack that comes with the Mavic 3. That's a backpack and then a shoulder bag. Just please keep the cost down. Please keep it simple. The bags that you were giving us before was perfect. If people want anything exquisite, they can always go and buy aftermarket stuff. But no need to go down that road to raise the cost or the price of things, right? or they could just go buy the Mavic 3 bag if they really want that separately, but don't include that in the Fly More combo. Keep it simple, maybe spruce things up a little bit, put a red line or a red trim or a silver trim or something to make it a little different, but if it ain't broken, please don't fix it. And that concludes the things that I don't want to see on the Air 3 or the Air 3S. So guys, comment below. Let me know what you think. If there's something that you would like that I didn't mention in this video, hit me up in the comment section and let me know. If your suggestions are really useful, I will definitely pin it in the comment section. Hopefully, DJI, you're watching this video and you will please take my advice and put out a nice quality, lightweight, compact, affordable drone that will dominate the market and bring flyers just absolute pleasure. With that being said, guys, make sure you hit thumbs up, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when I release more videos to come out. Let me know if you want me to do a Mini 3 wish list, and I will catch you guys whenever I can. Make sure you become a Patreon, guys. Big benefits to Patreon. Get direct access to me. Any questions? I'm right here on Patreon. Support this channel, and there's benefits. Last Mini 2 went all the way to the UK.